Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
The NBA playoffs are here, and I'm getting my bets in on FanDuel. Talk to me, Chuck GPT. What do you know?
All sorts of interesting stuff, even Charles Barkley's greatest fear.
Hey, nobody needs to know that.
New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
21 plus and present in select states.
Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the Roger Stone Show on 77 WABC.
A man who's gone through hell, but he's kept going, and he's smart, and he's strong, and people love him. Not everybody, but people love him and respect him. Roger Stone.
Now, here's Roger Stone.
Welcome back, folks. This is the Roger Stone Show on 77 WABC on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I am joined now by Christine Serrano-Glassner. Her husband, Michael, has been a friend of mine of many, many years. In fact, I was Senator Bob Dole's body man before he was, and that's where we met. She is now making a valiant race in New Jersey for the United States Senate. She has been endorsed by President Donald Trump. She has extensive local experience. She served in the Trump administration, in the Small Business Administration, but she's also served as the first woman elected mayor in the borough of Mendham, New Jersey, where she has had a stellar record serving the people of her town. This is a David and Goliath fight in New Jersey, which is a blue state, but might just be trending to President Donald Trump. When you get 100,000 people in Wildwood, well, something seismic is happening. Christine Glassner, thank you for joining us today on the Roger Stone Show.
Roger, thank you for having me. I am so happy to be here with you and all of your listeners.
You know, the president was very forthright in his endorsement of you, which I was very, very pleased to see. You are not the candidate of the New Jersey Republican machine, which really is the party of Chris Christie. Those folks today have to go through the motions of saying, therefore, Donald Trump, because he's definitely going to be our nominee. But they were never for him in the beginning. Now, suddenly, they're all born-again Trump supporters. Such is politics. But I was really proud to see the president stand up and endorse you, and I was happy to join him in that. Donald Trump Jr., a number of other prominent national conservatives like Dr. Ben Carson and others have joined suit. You are in a David and Goliath fight, but it's one in which I feel that you're going to prevail. So I guess a good place to start is your reaction to the announcement this past Thursday that Donald Trump had been convicted in a Manhattan courtroom of 34 charges when the prosecution never identified any specific crime. What's your thinking?
What's my thinking? I think what's most of America's thinking, and I'm not just talking Republicans. I know a lot of unaffiliated voters and even Democrat voters. I've got a lot of friends who are lawyers who are Democrats, and they think this is a travesty because it sets a very, very horrible example for the United States, absolutely for the New York judiciary system. This is going to end up hurting them. That's my prediction. It's going to hurt the Democrats because it is nothing but pure politics, and people can see through that, and it's an embarrassment for this country. It spells out that this is nothing more than a kangaroo court because the entire thing was tilted towards one political direction. And this is another example of them trying to use the judicial system as an election integrity issue of trying to keep Donald Trump. They tried to keep him from campaigning, and they're trying to keep him out from running for the United States president, and he is going to be our next president. I was so proud, Roger, when he endorsed me. And he endorsed me because he has known me. He's known my husband, and he knows that I am a hard worker. I am a fighter, and I am a woman of courage. I believe in defending and supporting the people in New Jersey. And I also believe, and everybody hears me say this U.S. Senate seat that Bob Menendez did not treat with the respect that he should have is a public service position. And we need to be serving the public. They are our customers, and they deserve better customer service. And that's what I will do. They need better communication. My opponent, who is part of the South Jersey machine, who is a Chris Christie guy, donated to Chris Christie for president, donated against Donald Trump for Gary Johnson in 2016. In other words, basically trying to support Hillary Clinton. He has trashed Donald Trump on his social media, and he is a well-known Democrat supporter, supporting, Senator Cory Booker. What's going to happen in 2 years? Is he going to support him again, or is he going to support the Republican? So what you have is a tried and true New York Democrat who's trying to wear New Jersey Republican clothes, and people are not buying it. They know when he's interviewed, he can't even say Donald Trump's name. He avoids it. Roger, he chickened out from doing a debate with me. He agreed to do the debate, and then a couple days before, he backed out because he told them that I was probably going to leave the race, and he didn't want to encourage me to stay in. I was never leaving this race because I'm in this race for the people of New Jersey, and now I'm in this race to make sure that Donald Trump gets reelected to the White House. Because, Roger, there was a poll that came out, the Emerson poll, just not that many weeks ago, showing that President Trump is only 5 points behind in New Jersey. That poll was maybe 7 weeks ago. I bet that is even narrowed more since then. And then there was another poll in a three-way race because Bob Menendez has his 800 signatures and is going to file to run as an independent. In a three-way race between myself, Bob Menendez, and Andy Kim, I'm only 5 points behind Andy Kim. New Jersey is in play, and New Jersey has 2 winnable seats, many more winnable seats than that, all the way up and down the ballot. But Donald Trump can win New Jersey, and I will be winning this Senate seat in New Jersey, and I need the support of all of the voters.
I know New Jersey extremely well, having run 2 campaigns in the state for President Ronald Reagan, having worked on the 2 campaigns of Thomas J. Kane, perhaps the state's greatest governor. I helped Jeff Bell topple U.S. Senator Clifford Case in the primary there. I've been to all 21 counties. I used to own a home in Margate, New Jersey. That's before I became impoverished by the Mueller investigation. I own no real estate today. My wife's family owns our home through a trust entirely legally. It is extraordinary when you look at this opportunity. There is a precedent in history here. In 1970, U.S. Senator Thomas J. Dodd, a Democrat of Connecticut who had won by a landslide in 1964, came up for re-election. Dodd had not been convicted of any crime, but he had been censured by the U.S. Senate for financial improprieties. He saw that he could not win the Democratic primary, so he filed to run as an independent. The Democratic Party nominated the Reverend Joseph Duffy, who was an anti-war zealot, over the Democrat organization candidate Alphonse Donahue. And Republicans nominated 4th District Congressman Lowell Weicker, a three-way race. Weicker won that race, was elected the first Republican senator from Connecticut since the 50s because of that Democrat split. Therefore, I predict to you that if Menendez goes through with his independent candidacy, which I think from a legal point of view, to maintain leverage in his upcoming trial, he almost certainly has to do. Well, if you win this primary, Christine, you're headed to the U.S. Senate. And that's why this race is worth talking about. Normally, let's be candid, nobody wants the Republican U.S. Senate nomination in a state like New Jersey. But given the coming Trump tidal wave, and the fact that reputable polls in New Jersey show the president only 6 down, and as you point out, that was just weeks ago, I really believe New Jersey's in play. And if you win this primary, which I think you're going to, I do think you're going to the U.S. Senate.
Well, that is my goal, Roger, and I so appreciate your thoughts on that. I know. And I met with the Steve Daines recently, Senator Daines, and he has said to me that this being a three-way race, the support that's going to come in for this seat will be like no New Jersey has not seen before, because they have the faith, and we have to return a Republican majority to the U.S. Senate for when Donald Trump becomes president again. We know that we have to do that. But what Senator Daines said to me was, we've got to get more than just 51 seats. We have to. And so that makes New Jersey's seat that much more appealing and interesting in terms of a race. And, I've been working hard. I'm not going to stop. This is critical. This is go time now for this state, because we need better representation. We need representation for people that are struggling, that are living paycheck to paycheck, our young people. And I know this has been on your show before. Not only can they not afford, our young adults, they can't afford to buy homes in New Jersey. They're not even able to afford to rent apartments anymore. It's become extremely difficult, and we cannot afford to lose those young adults to move away to other states. We need their vibrancy in this state because it's such a great state. We have everything here in New Jersey. You know that, Roger. You've been to all 21 counties. We've got the mountains. We've got the Jersey Shore, which is one of our greatest assets, which Murphy is trying to ruin with the wind turbines. We've got lakes. We've got hiking. We've got farmland. We have it all. We have cities. You just can't beat New Jersey. And so we need folks to continue their residency here and not leave the state. But they will only do that if New Jersey becomes more affordable, if New Jersey becomes better represented down in Washington, so that all of these dollars that are going down to D.C. has to either stop and be reduced or come back to the state to help with so many of the issues we have. Like flooding is a big issue here, both in the north and down at the Jersey Shore. We can't just receive benefits from the federal government when we have a disaster. We need a steady program to help with our infrastructure needs, our highways, our bridges, and we need to see more of that here in New Jersey. We contribute much more than we get back. So this is so much of the reason why I'm running, and it's for the people.
I'm a little behind the curve on this issue, but I do know that the courts not long ago knocked down the so-called party lines. For those who are not in politics, let me try to explain this. The Republican and Democratic county organizations in the past have had the ability to give their endorsed candidate a superior ballot position where they're designated as the official endorsed candidate of the local organization. Now, it's not that challengers have never won off the line. It's not that challengers, however, have never won without the line, but it is an advantage. Judge knocked the lines out for Democrats. Christine, what is the status of these of the line, the organization designation on the Republican side?
So I think because anybody in New Jersey knows that when Governor Murphy first ran for office, he went around and people basically claimed that he bought the lines, which meant that he wrote big checks to each of the county committees or individuals there, contributions, right, donations, and secured the lines for himself. My opponent essentially did the same thing. My understanding, people have been passing around a report from the New Jersey Election Commission showing all of the contributions that he made shortly before these conventions took place. And so each county, not every county, but each of the 21 county has their own process. Many of them have these conventions. And when you win that county convention, you are placed in this special column with all of their preferred candidates. You said yourself, it doesn't mean it's a guarantee. Two of the South counties decided not to do that. They decided to go with what's known as a block ballot vote. And so names are picked out of a hat, or columns are picked out of a hat. Names and folks were just, sorted into the ballot accordingly. Up north, I won most of the counties. My opponent won many of them down south. But again, you can see the correlation between buying these counties. I've seen this report that people are sending around. I am hearing from voters down south. I'm down south. I'm campaigning hard. I've got a lot of folks that are supporting me because they're not satisfied with what happened with this process. They felt that it wasn't the way it should have happened. Some of these chairs will say to you, this is what the people wanted. That's not what the people wanted. It's how they influenced county committee members. The only people that vote at the convention are either club members or committee members. This is not representational of all of the voters. When Donald Trump endorsed Christine Serrano-Glassner for U.S. Senate, so many of these South Jersey voters are dedicated to Donald Trump and want him in office. And they know that he needs to have on the ballot the person that he has selected, because he knows that I will work very hard to make sure that he gets and wins New Jersey, which is one of the things he told me when I saw him that he wants. He knows we can win New Jersey, and he wants to win New Jersey. My opponent has been anti-Trump. He doesn't have the trust of the people, and this is why they're not going to vote for him. So he will definitely win, because people that aren't paying attention, don't know who the candidates are, a lot of those people will just vote down that line. But there are a lot of the people that will not, especially the folks, any of them, that were either watching that rally or were in attendance of that rally. And you said so yourself. There was 100,000 people there, and this endorsement went out on live TV. A lot of times, Roger, the president, when he does his endorsement, it's just through a tweet. He held this endorsement until that rally because he knew that that was going to help bring out voters. And it was going to tell New Jersey, I believe in New Jersey. This is what Donald Trump was saying, and I know that we can win this state. And so that's the goal. And people have to pay attention. Want to make sure they come to my website, which is Christine4NJ.com, and come visit us and take a look at, what we stand for, and get all your neighbors and your friends out to vote. We need that this year more than ever. We need to make sure that we're delivering. And it doesn't have to just be Republicans. Remember, in New Jersey, we have unaffiliated voters. They can walk into the booth on Election Day, and they can vote Republican. And then they can unregister as a Republican voter. It's very, very simple. We need everybody to get out, and I'm asking for people's vote, because we need to do this, not just for New Jersey, but we need to make sure that we get Donald Trump reelected. And this is one of the ways we can do this.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the endorsement of Donald Trump trumps any Republican county organization endorsement. Also point out that there's far more votes in the North than there are in the South. When you break down the primary votes, I think there are 65+% of the primary vote in the northern part of the state, and the rest in the lower part of the state. Christine, people don't really realize how incredibly expensive it is to run a campaign for the U.S. Senate, particularly in a state where New York and Philadelphia dominate the television markets. There are essentially really, other than cable, no New Jersey stations. Many, many, many people in New Jersey listening to 77 WABC radio, I'm happy to say. Tell us one more time how folks can go to your campaign site and help you out.
Please come visit us. You can find us at Christine, that's a CH, 4NJ, that's FOR.com, Christine4NJ.com. Come visit us. You can donate right there. It's a simple donation button. You can sign up to volunteer and help. You can sign up to get our emails, and you can see all of our issues. We're adding more every day. I've got to actually get a couple more added today. You know, Roger, you know how campaigning is a very, very busy time, so we're just juggling it all and making sure that we're getting as much information out to the voters while getting me out to the voters. So I really appreciate folks coming and taking a look. Oh, and I almost forgot, sign up for our social media. That's the best way you can keep informed on what we're doing.
All right. I want to thank our special guest today, Christine Serrano-Glassner, Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate in the upcoming June 4th New Jersey primary. Here's an open invitation for her opponent. If he'd like to appear here on the Roger Stone Show, I'd be happy to accommodate him. I have a feeling he won't take me up on that, but I make the invitation in good faith. Christine, thank you very much for joining us. And folks, you want to hang on, because when we come back, yes, it's Mrs. Stone's, that's my mother's, famous recipe for eggplant parmesan. We'll be right back.